Oftentimes, if you can go backwards with a certain operation, it'll help clarify things as you go forward. So this very simply, if it's your first term, is going to give you an x squared here. Okay, we take the first term, we square it, we get that. If this is a plus 4x, that plus, first of all, means that this is a minus. And if that's the product of these two things, well, this has got to be a minus 4. And if that's a minus 4, then over yonder here, this is going to be a plus 16. So what is the original cubic? It is, I guess I don't need parentheses. I'll take that away. Is x cubed minus 64. And it goes back to really looking at this first term. Cube that, bada bing. Cube that, bada boom. The minus is consistent. Now you start looking at some fractions, and that might get a little scary. But this is the cubed root of something. That's interesting. Well, look at this. That's a minus, that's a plus. And the product of this and that is going to give you that. So the fact that that didn't change, that means this has to be a 1. Okay? If we take that 1 and we cube it, it's going to be still a 1. Now the interesting thing about this is if we take this and cube it, it's going to give us a bigger, crazier fraction. And that bigger, crazier fraction, as I'm stalling here, as I punch something up here, I've got 8 to the third power is equal to 512. So that is 500. Oh, it's only squared, silly me. Okay, but I'll need that eventually. This is a plus 1 over 64, because I'm just squaring that to get this one here. And oh, by the way, it's 1 over 64 x squared, if that term. So I'm squaring both parts of that. Okay, so what is the original cubic? It's going to be a 1, because that's not going to change anything, and then it's going to be a minus 1 over 512 x cubed. That one's kind of tricky. That's about as hard as it'll get, I would think. And maybe the last one here. That times this, first of all, that's a minus, so this is a plus. And if this times this is equal to that, then this is a 1/5. Okay? So if I square this term here, I end up with 1 over 4x squared. And if I square that, I end up with 1 over 25. So what is the original cubic? You cube that, you end up with 1 over 8x cubed plus 1 over 125.